This is Fox 43 News, first at 4.
First at 4, the governor and Pennsylvania Secretary of Health thank first responders in Lancaster County. They also tackle a battle that's going on right now over something a Republican state representative wrote. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. I'm Evan Forrester. At issue is Representative Russ Diamond's statement about the unmasked community that mirrors some of the words that Dr. Levine used to talk about the LGBTQ community and discrimination. Fox 43's Jamie Bittner was in Millersville, Lancaster County, where she had a chance to ask them both directly about it.
I was wondering your reaction to Russ Diamond today. Fox 43 asking Governor Tom Wolf and Dr. Rachel Levine directly about the war of words that's raging after this message by State Representative Russ Diamond that they call...
Well, I thought it was it was factually incorrect and it was nasty.
My reaction is this is really another example of harassment against LGBTQ individuals.
Let's take you back to Tuesday when Dr. Levine said this about transphobic comments made towards her, an incidence of LGBTQ harassment.
I have no room in my heart for hatred, and frankly, I do not have time for intolerance.
One day later, this letter by Representative Russ Diamond addressing what he claims are hateful and intolerant comments directed towards the unmasked community, saying, quote, I have no room in my heart, and frankly, I do not have the time for intolerance.
Never mind using my words as a comment on me. Really, what I worry about is the other LGBTQ individuals in the Commonwealth.
To Thursday now as Governor Wolf did this.
I asked the legislature to censure him.
Representative Diamond saying on Facebook he condemns all hatred and intolerance, but finds it ironic that Dr. Levine fails to see that her policies and that of the governor are creating similar hatred and intolerance, pointing to that universal masking mandate.
In terms of masks, he's wrong. Masks are essential, and they are an essential public health measure.
I certainly don't get why you'd actually conflate that with discrimination against people for their identity.
And as for any calls for either one of them to resign, Governor Wolf said this, with Dr. Levine chiming in.
I'm not resigning, are you?
Yes, sir.
No. Okay.
In Millersville, Lancaster County, Jamie Bittner, Fox 43 News.
The Lebanon County lawsuit against the Wolf administration that's set to get underway has been postponed now until next month. The suit concerns the governor withholding nearly $13 million in federal CARES Act money for defying the state shutdown orders and transitioning to a phase of reopening when it was not approved. The proceeding will continue on August 10th. Another 860 new COVID-19 cases have been confirmed in Pennsylvania. That brings the statewide total now to over 111,000. The rate of new positive infections today is at 5.18% statewide. The health department says 259 of those new cases were located in Philadelphia and in the greater Pittsburgh areas. More than 14 more Pennsylvanians died from COVID-19. The state death toll is over 7,100. Around 75% of Pennsylvanians that have gotten COVID-19 have since recovered. Shutdowns across the country related to the coronavirus pandemic causing the U.S. economy to shrink by 33% in the last fiscal quarter, and that's the latest information from the U.S. Department of Labor. Big numbers like that are worrying state leaders about going back to a red phase or March-style shutdown once again. And as Karen Kafa explains, the death counts and new cases surging in some states may force their hand.
The coronavirus pandemic's devastating impact on the U.S. economy seen in two reports Thursday.
The report card really validated that this was indeed the worst quarter in U.S. economic history.
The U.S. economy contracted by 9.5% in April through June, an annual rate of 32.9%, and the worst since the government started keeping track more than 70 years ago. And the Labor Department said first-time unemployment claims increased for a second straight week to more than 1.4 million.
Until the virus is tamed and really put in the rearview mirror, there's going to be a ton of uncertainty, not only on the part of consumers in terms of how and where they are comfortable going out and spending money, but in terms of businesses.
Some medical experts say another shutdown is necessary to stem the virus's fast and deadly spread, despite the economic pain.
Right now, the only tool we have to control the virus is shelter in place and physical distancing.
Some financial experts say Thursday's numbers underscore the urgency of congressional action.
I really hope it's a wake-up for Congress. Individuals, families, businesses, communities are hurting right now.
A key point of contention in negotiations for the latest coronavirus relief bill, the $600 federal unemployment enhancement that expires on Friday. In Washington, Karen Kafa, Fox 43 News.
Lancaster County leaders say they are making progress in rolling out help to small businesses and schools. County leaders say they are executing the largest small business recovery plan in its history, as it's also working to get personal protective equipment to businesses and schools. As COVID aid package is also approved by the Board of Commissioners to help every municipality in Lancaster County.
Thanks to you, the citizens of Lancaster County, who have never quit, we're coming back.
In the last week, Lancaster County says it's seen a test positivity rate of 6.4%, which is higher than the 5.4% rate it saw 2 weeks ago. There are also fewer daily cases. Now, the patients testing positive are getting younger. They've seen a shift in the average age from 52 to age 45. Some parents of high school athletes are hoping the PIAA reconsiders its guidance to not allow spectators at high school sports this fall. Fox 43's Chelsea Kerbler spoke with two Central York parents who believe there's a way to ensure safety while also allowing fans inside stadiums.
I'm upset. I think that parents should be allowed to see the players on the field.
Some parents of high school athletes are trying to accept the reality that they will not be allowed to watch their kids play sports this year. The PIAA guidance follows the health department's lead by not allowing spectators at fall sports.
I know it's going to be hard for my son and for all of us if we can't even see them play.
Christy Hinderer and Marta Stroman both have sons who are seniors on the Central York High School football team.
Yes, we can't open it to the general public. We're not asking for that. We want to be able to just have your parents or the loved ones or guardians of these players to be there at the games.
Hinderer and Stroman are hoping the PIAA reconsiders to at least allow parents and guardians into the games. They say allowing just parents in would allow for easy social distancing in a stadium with the capacity to hold thousands.
I'm sure a lot of people saying, hey, is there somehow we can work this out safely? We'll wear masks.
Social distancing, mask, it's fine. I think we can fit still a certain amount of people in the stadium and be safe.
The PIAA says during the yellow and green phases of reopening, sports-related activities at the pre-K through 12th grade levels are limited to student athletes, coaches, officials, and staff only. The addition of visitors and spectators will be contingent upon future health conditions within the state and local communities. In York County, Chelsea Kerbler, Fox 43 News.
And State Senator Scott Martin of Lancaster County calling on the governor to provide more guidance on high school sports spectators. Senator Martin wrote in a statement, if we can congregate together safely and responsibly in shopping malls, big box stores, indoor sports venues, and outdoor car shows under the guidance of the Department of Health, then I see no reason why the department cannot develop similar guidelines to give schools the ability to allow spectators to watch athletic events. He said being outdoors would help minimize the spread of COVID-19. And there is now a trending petition to get the PIAA to allow spectators at sporting events. The petition on change.org is seeking 1,500 signatures to officially change the organization's guidelines to restrict sports fans at events. The petition says the guideline does not follow Governor Wolf's restrictions to have no more than 250 people at outside events, and also points to personal safety measures people can take, like wearing masks and observing social distancing. The petition has more than 1,200 signatures so far. Checking out all of our coronavirus coverage, text the word coronavirus to 843-0043. That'll take you to our page dedicated to information surrounding the COVID-19 pandemic. Gonna first look at the forecast. Just Patch standing by with details of the rest of the day.
Hey there, Evan. It's another hot one out there. Temps today getting back up into the low 90s. We are seeing a little bit more in the way of cloud cover starting to move in. We're going to have some showers later tonight, but out there right now, it is steamy. 94 degrees in Harrisburg, 97 over in Gettysburg, 90 degrees over in Lewistown. Even the clouds not stopping us from getting this hot this afternoon. Right now, Mechanicsburg, it's 93 degrees, and you can see plenty of cloud cover. And again, these clouds are only going to thicken up as we head through the rest of the afternoon and into later tonight. Bigger picture showing a stalled out front to our south, a cold front approaching out of the north. Eventually, that cold front will push that stationary boundary further and further south, clearing us up a little bit for tomorrow, for Saturday. But for the rest of tonight, we're going to have to deal with a hot and muggy evening. Temps are slow to fall off. We're in the low 80s by 9 o'clock, and then showers and storms will be arriving late tonight, staying with us through the first half of the day tomorrow. Details on what you can expect for this weekend coming up in just a few minutes.
A man shot and killed in York overnight. Police found the body of 31-year-old Quentin Jacobs just before 1 o'clock this morning along East Market Street. Police have not identified any possible suspects as that investigation this afternoon does continue. A man taken to the hospital after crashing his gyrocopter during takeoff at the York airport. This happened before 7 o'clock this morning. Authorities say a 58-year-old man from Abbottstown was operating the gyrocopter when it tilted forward unexpectedly and crashed. The pilot was trying to practice takeoffs. The pilot was treated at an area hospital for injuries. The FAA has been notified of the incident. A funeral service today for civil rights icon and Democratic Congressman John Lewis in Atlanta, Georgia. Former Presidents Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, and George W. Bush joined Lewis's friends and family members to pay their final respects to him. Lewis's body was lying in state at the Georgia State Capitol yesterday. Before that, it was in Washington, D.C., where he was honored as the first black lawmaker to lie in the Capitol Rotunda. You can expect more on the celebration of life coming up at 4:30. And coming up next on Fox 43 News First at 4, basketball back as the NBA returns tonight. We'll introduce you to the local native in the middle of the league's pandemic prevention bubble.
Something like this wasn't my fault. This wasn't anybody's fault. And even if it was, I think I still have the right to be able to afford to live.
That woman's talking about being diagnosed with type 1 diabetes and battling insurance companies to be able to afford life-sustaining medication. Coming up at 4:30, we'll tell you about a new bill that aims to make those medications cheaper.
Here at Gettysburg National Military Park, there is a lot of history, and there's a lot of work that goes into preserving it. Coming up, meet one of the preservationists.
And if you don't have it yet, it's easy to download the Fox 43 app. Just text the word app to 843-0043. It's a great way to get breaking news. You can also get a personalized weather forecast for where you live. Stay with us. Fox 43 News First and 4 is coming right back.